Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is White Note and I proudly present Global Gamers launched. Quality of our content is higher than Donald Trump wall. Today's video is all about WCS 2016 Quarterfinal, Zest vs Stats.
There's no turning back now. The winner of this best of 5 is one step closer to becoming the victor of the StarCraft World Championship Series Global Finals. But of course, in a moment like this, Zest can definitely punish his opponent.
All right, he's trying to poke in, get something done, but with the Mothership Core and a Stalker pushing back those Adepts, you know, he doesn't really get that much. There is a Mothership Core in the main base for Zest, trying to pick off some probes, and in fact, we'll get 3. Oh!
Very close, manages to get that out there. So taking out 3 probes, not bad for the start. Of course, the Mothership Core is bruised, but kind of one by one. So if you see somebody lose, let's say, 3 or 4 Immortals, it's going to be pretty disastrous. It basically resets how technical their army really is.
Yeah, and you know what? Zest just flew in with a Hallucinated Oracle. He saw exactly what Stats is up to, and seeing those gateways, seeing the fact that he's making an Immortal and getting an upgrade in that Twilight Council, he's going to know that this is an Adept. It's kind of an all-in. It's definitely at least a lot of pressure. So Zest, looking at this right now, I think he's going to have to abandon that third Nexus. So Zest said, okay, let me get Blink and take a third base so I can get right ahead. But now this counter build to that will force him back. Notice he only has 1 probe at that third base. He's poking out here, trying to keep everything back, utilizing that Blink. But this is a very strong army being warped in by Stats.
Stats has to decide, does he take out the third or does he go for the jugular and push into the second? Zest now backing up. The Adepts are shading in. He's going to be able to get onto the ramp. Will he finish the shade? No, a cancel. Now backing up, deciding perhaps it's safer to maybe go up to the third or maybe even try to warp in more units and push again.
A great block so far here. Some good force fields going down there by Zest. Some fantastic defense going down. By the way, Stats doesn't even know about this third Nexus yet, so he's just trying to break in here. And if he can't do it, he's going to be in a lot of trouble against a third Nexus from Zest.
I love that Zest is using his own shade to block the shades of Stats from going into the main and getting any further intel. It does look like Stats wants to push in a little bit further here. We just see both of the Immortals are well placed in the back, not taking too much damage. Stats continuing to warp in.
He has a lot of Adepts here trying to force his way into that main base, but Zest continues to keep him back, building upon this army. Some great defense with those overcharges as well, and Stats is just not really making headway.
Yeah, if Stats doesn't break him and break him soon, he's going to get further and further behind in this game. It looks like, once again, a great block off there at the ramp by Zest. It seems like Zest is holding, and if we can do a vision check, I think you're right, Artosis. I don't believe he knows about this Nexus up here. Yeah.
He
just doesn't know.
He just has no idea. He's trying to get some damage in here, but Zest has blocked everything. He has a finished third Nexus. What is Stats' plan? Oh, he tries to get a drop into the main base, but Zest does deflect it.
Looks like Zest is now pushing out. He wants to threaten the potential third base. The War Prism may be flying over this army. He has to back that up. Regroup over here. Does he have enough to take on Stats? It looks like the army size somewhat even right now.
Yeah, it's pretty close. They'll both cancel these shades. Zest trying to poke in, see if he can hit this third, but Stats definitely has enough. He should be able to hold on to here for now. In fact, sends out his shades to get on top of everything. No, it looks like he's going to back up, cancel this off, and you know what? It makes sense because Stats is getting into Disruptor tech, which will really swing these battles for him.
We've got an attack coming up here now. Great force fields placed down there, making an escape impossible for Stats right now. Disruptors come out. A good connection over there. However, it seems like Zest may have a healthier spread here, causing a lot of problems here for Stats.
In fact, Shades up over here. He's trying to decide where to let this Shade finish. It does let it finish and continues to pound on this army of Stats. Stats having to micro backwards, utilizing this War Prism as best he can. Zest starts to pull back, though, as that Disruptor is going to have another shot ready.
He's going to try to come back in here. So many of these units bruised. Maybe try to take out these workers over at the second base, or maybe even warp in and try to get this Nexus. We'll see. We do have Stats moving out on the left side of the map. It looks like we have Shades passing the army right now.
Oh, great move by Zest here. Shading on top of so many sentries, a bunch of free kills, and dropping in the natural at the same time. Some really quality harassment coming out of Zest. That means that Stats attack basically has to win from here.
It looks like Actually, Stats is going to go ahead and just try to go all in over here on the base. Meanwhile, Zest pushing down to the bottom right. We're in a base trade scenario right here.
Zest shades into the natural. A ton of damage being done. In the meantime, Stats doing the same to him on the other side. The probes being evacuated. That's very important in these base trades. If you don't have any probes out on the map, you can't build any more buildings.
Also remember, there are islands on this map. So if you're able to take an island and your opponent can't get anything over to that, that would automatically be checkmate here. We see the Adepts continue to do damage right now. If we could check, are there any other probes out on the map? Is there anywhere anybody can hide a pylon? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it looks like Zest, he's the one that's really gotten quite a few away here. He's trying to still kill off all these probes in the main base. He's going to want to get the Nexus as well. Once you end up killing all those buildings, you will end up winning. But Stats is coming back to try to defend what he has left.
Here comes Stats now, trying to clean this up. Now we can have a fight over here on the ramp, but the Disruptor is going to make it very difficult. Good shot. He does take down one Disruptor. But for the time being, it's going to be up to Zest to try to hold that ramp. Meanwhile, back over at Zest base, it's basically untouched. The action is stopped as Stats has returned home.
He's just got his main base left over there, but he's not really mining. So Stats needs to clean this up and then go back and finish him off. The Disruptor really is the key here. He needs to get a great shot off with it.
He's going to try to come up here now. Stats is shoving up the ramp. We need to see that Disruptor use. Targeting the Disruptor, a good pickup as he micros that back.
Oh, Stats with so many units here. Throws up that Disruptor shot and actually whiffs everything. But still, his army is a little bit stronger than Zest. Zest is eventually going to have to get out of here, trying to target down this Nexus, and it looks like he will get it. That is a big kill.
He needs to escape with his Warp Prism. Going over to the bottom left side of the map. The rest of the units will have to be sacrificed. No Nexus here for Stats. Back over at Zest's home, he does have a Nexus, but not much to do with it.
No, he has almost nothing left over here. Stats, he can't mine anymore. He can't build a Nexus. He must win with what he has. And I gotta say, I think that's not gonna be too hard when he has 44 army supply against 13.
Zest is
going to try to pick up. You know what? Zest just have a middle, so you make a power at the moment. If it's like that done, that would be, oh my god, he just unloaded through there. I've really never seen that. Yeah, he's able to pick up through there. It looks like there's no good option here for Zest. And I think from here, all Zest has to do is very carefully and gradually push up here, and he will break Zest in game number 1. I think you are right about that. Zest still trying to figure out if he can get something as a worker out on the map, but that doesn't matter because he's going to actually build it. And similar at this point, so that's just kind of a useless unit at the moment. And in the block Stats, trying to take on everything. It just doesn't seem like there's any chance here for Zest. Yeah, I think that should be game. I think right now Zest trying to boss this. He's going around actually to the other side of the map with that worker. He's got a probe. And he only has 65 minerals, so I don't know what he can do with that. Hey, he's just from there. He don't gain minerals in any way other than mining, so this could be a little bit. He's also pointing out here that actually less structures overall for Stats. Zest is actually less. Give me more. He's already massive damage, but Zest's army is so much bigger. He's just kind of going across the map trying to clear everything out. Zest is being able to knows where every single building remains. He's going to clear this up. Before Stats will continue to rotate back around to the bottom right side of the map. And I think this should be the beginning of the end. I think it might be the end of the end here, Taste. There's not a lot more play for Zest to do. I mean, he's trying to be as sneaky and clever as he can to pull something out of his hat, but I mean,
there's just not much else he can do.
If Stats were to just split his army into 2 random pieces, he wins.
I think he's afraid that if the Warp Prism and the Immortal are controlled really, really well, that he might end up losing more than he wants to lose over here. But,
and he doesn't know how many minerals Zest has.
That's true.
For instance, like if Zest wants to just kind of make a building at the last second, that could be how Stats would end up losing the game, right? Like if he can't unload, if he loses the Prism to that one Stalker somehow.
I love what you're saying with that because, yeah, he's masking it pretty effectively. If Stats loses too many units and he makes that, and then Zest makes that pylon on the island, then that's a loss. So right now, Zest is trying to disguise, a possible advantage that he has, even though it's actually not. It's not really there. So I think from here we should just see Stats very cautiously move across the map here, going for this Immortal right now, and that's going to be it. GG. It's going to be interesting, man. Right now, if you're just now joining us, this is a best of 5, a 1-0 lead here for Stats. Guys, let's make some noise. Let's get hyped. We are going into game number 2. Stats versus Zest at the StarCraft World Championship Series Global Finals. Trying to exploit that. So I think we'll probably see Zest be a little bit less greedy, and we also now see... all right,
that's a quick proxy pylon.
That parlayed right into what I was talking about. Yeah. So he's not going to be greedy this game. He is, in fact, making a proxy pylon. So we're going to see some aggression here from Zest.
Yeah, this is really interesting that he's gone for the proxy pylon this quickly. You know, if Stats just scouts, you immediately know that the pylon is missing. So, you know... The thing is, I guess that's working out for him is that Stats hasn't scouted yet, and he can very quickly throw down his proxy, which is, in fact, going to be A Twilight Council. And the build that Stats has chosen here, he's going for a Stargate. Yeah, he'll get an Oracle, and that can detect technically, but if you spread your Dark Templars out well, it's not really the greatest detection that you can have. You really are looking for an Observer in this type of position.
That's right. Well, in this proximity, I believe we have something headed up over here. Okay, 2 Adepts, excuse me, coming over here into the main. Zest trying to apply pressure. Now, this is masking in reality. He's trying to make it look like he actually is going to be very aggressive.
It could pay off here. Now, Zest pushing forward, shading towards this main base. The Oracle leaves. That is a really big deal.
Yeah, right now, Stats thinking that if he sends his Oracle out and gets some kills over here in the bottom left base of Zest, that he can get a lead. But in fact, the Dark Shrine, rather, almost finished. Ooh. I don't know if Stats is going to be prepared.
I don't think so. This Oracle is so far away. Does he have good defense against the Oracle in his main base? So that kills probes very quickly. Yep, he does have a pylon. He does have a mothership core, so he can chase it away at least for a little bit here.
The 2 DTs coming up right now. It does not appear that Stats is ready. And he should be going, oh, he's going to have a block here. He cannot get quite to the probes just yet. But taking out these attacking units is good as well. And that's going to be it. GG! That's right. If you're just now joining us, it is tied up 1-1. Stats versus Zest. Again, the winner of this best of 5 is one step closer to becoming the 2016 champion of the StarCraft World Championship Series Global Finals.
So quickly.
So guys, the general rule would be that you don't proxy twice in a row in a best of 5, because you know, it's the concept of downloading your opponent. If you play against somebody enough times, you start to figure out the patterns. Down to the bottom right, unbeknownst to him, there is a proxy Oracle about to come out here. Stats putting the pressure on, but if these Stalkers are out here, they are obviously not back at home, able to defend against this Oracle that is moments away from unleashing havoc over here in the main of Stats.
This could do a lot of damage indeed. Now, Stats, he's making a sentry at home. A lot of the Stalkers are out on the map, so that is a bunch of his anti-air gone. The Mothership Core is in the main base, so that's going to offer at least some protection against the Oracle.
Here comes the Oracle now. He needs to stay out of range of those pylons, and that's a really good position. He can actually just hold that there. He's not killing probes, but he's also, his opponent's not mining either.
Yeah, it's quite nice. See, normally you will have a pylon in the back there to prevent something like this, but that is causing a big drop in income for Stats, as we just saw in that graph. And wow, the Oracle makes it out.
Right, it looks like we have Stats just a little bit ahead in workers, but first and foremost, Zest is going to do, it looks like a big attack over here up at the front. Is Stats going to be ready? He's coming in now.
8 Stalkers, that is a very powerful amount indeed. Great force fields come down and trap one of the Stalkers, so that will be killed off immediately, but still, this is a strong Stalker army poking into the front, and the Oracle coming around as well.
It looks to me like Stats is going to hold this, and this is problematic. And don't forget, that proxied Stargate's still out there. That can eventually be taken out. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Zest for the rest of this game.
It could be indeed. That's a little bit rough, not getting as much damage as he wants, but let's not forget, he still has an Oracle, trying to fly around, getting any kills that it possibly can. It's only killed 3 probes so far this game, but at least Zest has the initiative here.
He should be able to, is he going to get this Stargate over here? He might actually. Okay.
He knows it's over there somewhere. May as well go look.
He's going to find this, take this out. That, of course, doesn't just get rid of the Stargate. That gets rid of the proxy pylon, which, of course, gives you the opportunity to do counterattacks.
With his blink, now Zest's blink is getting very close to done, but he does not have as many units.
Stats is coming up now. Zest on the defense. Similar to game 1, the third is exposed, but it's possible that Stats may just focus his attention on the natural of Zest.
A lot of pressure coming up, and expanding behind it is Stats. A great move. He knows that Zest cannot expand while defending against this, but I don't think that Stats is going to be able to get a kill.
Stats is now backing up. A little bit of pressure there on the Warp Prism. He's going to be able to juggle that Immortal back in and micro it further away. The third base, though, was untouched there by Zest, as Stats is taking a third base of his own.
Yeah, Zest with that third base, very good thing that he has that making already. Now, we've seen army swings that are just completely out of control. You can hold on and not die for a really long time if you have a few of them as well. Now Zest coming up towards his third base of Stats, starting to shade forward a bit with these Adepts. It looks like he's going for it, Tasteless.
And no, Glaves is about to finish for both parties, but it seems like Zest may initiate first. He's coming up here now, forcing Stats back. Looks like he's faking him out. He's zoned him away. Now he has access to the third base of Stats.
Oh, this could be a really big move here for Zest, but he turns around. He wants to fight here once again. And is that a disruptor? Yes, that's a disruptor in there. A great move by Stats. Does get a few Adepts there and a Sentry as well. Zest continuing to fight, but this is a huge army for Stats.
Don't forget, there's no way for Zest to escape here. He has to engage this. He has to try to win this fight. The Disruptor's still in the back, as well as the Wounded Immortal. It looks like Zest is in a lot of trouble.
He really is. Stats is just holding on without any problem here. In fact, a bit of mismicro there as well. Stats blinks forward, gets that Prism, and it doesn't look like anything of Zest's army will survive.
That, I think, is going to put Zest in a really nearly impossible position to recover from.
With army, how does Zest end up holding on? Those disruptors will gain a lot of value. He can warp in quite a bit with that warp prism as well. In fact, going for that third base, Zest looks like he's just going to give it up, and yeah. I don't blame him. There's no way for him to take this on right now.
Yeah, he's already chased out these probes, doing a good amount of damage. He's going to continue to warp in now. These Adepts over here at the top that are doing this harass, that's great. They're taking out this Disruptor, but at the same time, they're not back at home defending, and there's a chance that Stats will kick in the front door and try to take Zest out in just a minute.
You know, he hasn't warped in that many more units over here, so if he does try to do that, maybe Zest can out-micro him or something, having a high ground advantage. But no, Zest going across the map, and Stats retreating with those Disruptors, maybe sensing a giant attack incoming from Zest.
Zest going for the counter. Some of Stats' army still down here at the bottom. They need to get up to the top. Right now, Zest is passing through the middle, and it's going to be up to Stats to try to hold this. If he holds this off, Stats should win this game.
Okay, pushing forward. He has those Adepts. They almost shade on top. In fact, Stats coming from behind with some of these Stalkers. A nice disruption shot does go up. Great pickup there, though, by Zest.
And it looks like this angle is just going to be horrible here for Zest. Getting hit in every which way. Now blinking underneath and denying the warp in. GG!
Well, so far.
Zest does not want to play an ordinary game against his opponent's Stats. We'll see what he does this time. Anyways, guys, let's make some noise. This is game number 4. Zest versus Stats.
A little bit of recon done here. Stats as well, both utilizing that hallucination and seeing what their opponents are up to. What Zest sees, though, is that there's a Twilight with no upgrades happening for Stats, which is really quite weird.
It is. Yeah, nothing happening over there. Do you think he maybe misplayed there?
Well, he's chrono boosting it, so I would say yes.
It's a mistake, yeah.
And that's something that can cost you a game.
This is a pretty big mistake to be making.
But in the long game, Stats is in a bit of trouble without an upgrade.
All right, we have these Stalkers now pushing forward. Stats definitely in control of his quadrant of the map, now taking a third base. Zest still on 2 bases.
We don't some overcharges and a Disruptor on the way.
By the way, Blink just started.
Oh,
he just noticed it. His upgrade was late.
He has to be kicking himself right now. In fact, he turns around. Now, this is the funny part. When he was attacking, that's right around when his Blink would have finished.
Yeah,
if he had actually started it when he wanted. So a big misstep by Stats, but at the end of the day, his Disruptors aren't that far behind. And he's got his third Nexus finish. Will Zest's normal strengths pay off here, or will Stats just solid play, getting him a little bit ahead over time with better economy and better macro? Is that going to pay off?
We'll have to wait and see. That's the big question. We see that Zealot Legs is almost done, and we have the Dark Shrine now coming in here for Stats. Now, I know we saw a Dark Shrine in game number 2, and it was very quick, and it did manage to win the game, but generally speaking, it's for the late game. But hold up here. We have some Stalkers blinking in. Zest takes out those 2 Disruptors. He may have Stats' army pinned up here, but do note the supply difference. It does seem that overall Stats should have a bigger army.
Oh, he blinks forward right now, tries to take down his opponent's Disruptors, and in fact he does. With these 2 Immortals cleaning house right now for Zest, he will easily punch through the rest of these Blink Stalkers, and that is the first really big moment of this game, going advantage towards Zest.
He may be trying to pick a fight with Zest.
Well, it looks like he's angry about what just happened there. Some charge zealots coming in for Zest. He saws 5 5 Immortals. That is a huge amount, and in fact, Zest gets that first shot off and kills a Disruptor.
I think Stats has to back up. Zest has very good control here, sending another army down here through the center of the map, and this is what we were talking about in this matchup, in this current iteration of StarCraft 2. A lot of the late game is about counterattacks and hitting in different angles because there's so much technical mobility here between Adepts, Stalkers, and Disruptors. It's crazy.
It truly is. Now, Zest hitting with the technical part of his army up towards the north, but sending a little harassment squad in here, and in fact has some Disruptors along with his Immortals, so definitely can get a lot of damage done, but back here, Stats is pressing forward.
Stats continuing to move over here, but a lot of damage done up here. All the workers now having to retreat. Meanwhile, Stats is trying to come in here for the kill move by attacking at the core of Zest's base.
A lot of Charge Zealots coming in from the side, trying to deal with these Immortals and doing a good job of it, but Zest has very few units left over at the moment. He is definitely in a lot of trouble. 2 Disruptors still with Stats' army.
It does not look like the army here of Zest over at the north is going to be enough to do any fatal damage to the base of Stats. Meanwhile, Stats down here seems to be holding his own. The Colossus comes out trying to gun that down. Meanwhile, great Disruptor balls there from Zest.
Yeah, this flank right now helping him out immensely, but still a scary set of units here from Stats. He's going to be able to pick off these Disruptors. Some great kills going down. In fact, the random Colossus falls as well.
Very nicely done. He manages to hold that base. Overall supply for Stats, it's 111. A pretty scary army coming out once you've dashed it all
Zealots
out.
and Archons go together like peas and carrots.
Yeah.
Seriously, they are they are quite a team. Some harassment coming down from Stats. Zest pulls those probes quite quickly indeed. Look at all those Archons. Is this a Protoss versus Zerg or a Protoss versus
right?
Protoss?
Well, he's going to come up here to the top. Now, the supplies are still fairly even, but I don't know if the army of Stats is going to be in the best position. This expansion to the north is somewhat naked right now. Zest coming in, and he has Disruptors in a good position.
He's hit those for so long. Oh, huge hits coming down from Zest. Another one tries to get out, going towards the Immortals, but it gets picked off, and now it just comes down to this massive amount of Archons trying to push back Stats. Stats' army being pushed back so powerfully by Zest.
Unbelievable play there by Zest. This expansion should go down. I don't see how Stats is ever going to be able to recover from this. Another great Disruptor shot, and that's it. GG.
This is it, Aces. We are going into game number 5.
All right, guys, let's get hype. Let's make some noise. This is game number 5. Stats versus Zest at the StarCraft World Championship Series Global Finals.
He chooses what is normally considered a very safe tech route into robotics, whereas Stats, he's going to expand to the gold right away.
That's right. Well, now both of them taking this gold like this. Want the most gas-intensive army.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to have it be much more basic and meaty and beefy instead of being so technical and tactical.
Yeah, we really don't have gold geysers here, so something like going for mass adepts could be a very smart play. Instead, Zest going directly into disruptor-based tech.
By the way, both these guys on 2 bases that are on the gold base, and here comes that Warp Prism Harass. How much damage is he going to do?
Oh my
Here
God.
we go.
Okay, well, you know what? 4 probes plus lost mining time on a gold base. That's already successful harassment from Zest.
Yeah, that's right. Very nicely done. And you can now see the benefits of that coming in here for Zest. It looks like he might try to come around from a different angle. And see, this is the beauty of it. Because you're in the middle of the map to some extent, you can hit from all these different angles. Now, Stats thinks that this harass is actually somewhere behind, but in fact, it looks like Zest is gearing up to possibly do a huge attack here at the front base of Stats.
Really quick reactions there by Stats, getting out of the way, utilizing that barrier. But Zest now with 2 disruptors trying to push forward. He has a lot of beef in the front here with these adepts. The overcharge is going off, but Zest has decided he wants to kill.
Oh, beautiful connection there. Stats now trying to defend as best he can. He's lost the pylons here, but he may have more Stalkers and Immortals. We need to see another warping come in here. Will the Stalkers be able to gun down the Warp Prism in time?
Uh-oh, they're trying to, and in fact, the Disruptor doesn't make it out. Zest in a lot of trouble from that. He really needed it to get out, and now with Blink and 2 Immortals, Stats in a dominating position can easily counterattack.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Stats may try to go for the counterattack here. He may just want to regroup. He has to take out these remaining Adepts, but I don't believe there's going to be enough to defend. There's not going to be enough tools at the disposal here for Zest to survive this attack coming right now here from Stats.
You're definitely right about that, Tasteless. These unupgraded Adepts are not going to last very long against the Blink Stalkers and against the Immortals. Stats marching towards victory right now. He wants this, the round of 4. He can feel it.
He's coming in now. Zest is desperately trying to warp in. I don't believe he's going to have enough. The probes have been pulled. The mothership core goes down. GG!
Thanks for watching and stay tuned for next videos.